Oh, work this time. Let's see. After Tom was back to the present. It's gonna be a bloody, pretty bad up there. There. Came and said to Tom. Tom gave an enthusiastic smile, which was almost enough of a response which was enough as a response. But he spoke anyway. Could be worse. Could be in the first wave, Tom muttered. Adjusted, but then said, then in enthusiasm that matched his smile. Well, if we didn't want action, someone new spoke up. One new new to the chat, spoke up. Well, if we wanted boring jobs, we would have become quartermasters. A female said, a young female voice, noted. Eyes looked to Dominique Gibbs. Zedenborn, though her parents were evidently fond of Dominique Vert, where they named her after the goddess. Miss Gibbs was born in 0039, making her 18 in the present. Dominique grew up quite proud to share the same name as a woman who made such history through the 30s, 40s, and now 50s. Dominique wasn't going to worship her namesake as a goddess, like some did, like many others did. But she was very respectful. But she did think her namesake as an idol of hers, someone that she would love to meet someday. Dominique supposed if her namesake really was a goddess, she didn't have to rush to make that meeting happen, since she was never going to die of old age, like the idols of a lot of other people. Dominique Gibbs didn't go by Domi. She preferred to be called. People use her full name. Some people like him. Her parents had abridged her name. Parents never. Well, nah, I guess that's not needed information. Dominique was no goddess, but she did manage to have a few accomplishments. Even though, goddamn it, missed the H. Even though she never. Oh, I forgot to turn the heater on. I'll be back in a second, folks. Alright, back, folks. Why does CNN keep playing true crime stories? There's really no news going on right now. Like, I mean, there's 7 billion people on this planet. That's 7 billion stories per day, and nobody can frickin' record it or anything. I mean, maybe report somebody famous dying. I don't know. Even though she had a few accomplishments, even though she never served in combat for today. Mock combat didn't count. Much like how the practice jumps of paratroopers didn't count compared to their actual jump into battle. I better check. Was that her first combat jump? This is a different story. It's no first combat jump. I contradict myself constantly. If I said it was her first combat jump, it was probably her 19th or something. Para drop. Yep, I'm still not sure if that's actually a word. I'll have to check. Okay, let's see. I don't count. Let's see. Dominique's accomplishment was being the first golem. The first female graduate of Zeta's Golem Training Academy. Let's see. She had signed up when she was 16, having enough credits in high school to graduate early. She was a bit of a whiz kid. Oh, she felt like she went to school with plenty of people who were smarter than her. They were just a bit on the lazy side. Dominique didn't consider herself. Dominique did well in the training academy, not washing out like a lot of other female and male students did. People acted like she was an odd creature. The instructors, mostly vets of the Jade War, acted like she was something odd, as though there weren't legions of female soldiers and hundreds of female golem pilots in the last war. Like everybody just forgot all those people existed. You know how it is with history. People have a short memory, even when it comes to their personal stuff. So, long-term history, like details from World War II, people just seem to completely forget what happened and all that stuff. Like, That's why people should do a little reading before they talk about such things, because they'll probably make themselves look like a fool. Infantry fighting back home. You know what I mean, like, America won the war. America helped win the war. America didn't win the war. We didn't destroy all of Nazi Germany on ourselves. It was actually mostly the Russians. But of course the Russians caused their own problems by dividing up Poland and having that non-aggression pact with Hitler, so he didn't have to worry about a two-front war when he went and sacked France and killed everybody there. Took over the whole continent pretty much, besides Switzerland, what he left alone. And he didn't go after Denmark. He didn't go after Sweden for some reason. Let's see. Why am I talking about Sweden? What is there about Sweden? I'd like to have a story set in Sweden someday, just so I could say something interesting happened in my universe's version of Sweden. Let's see. Heard it's a bloody mess. Let's see, that's the other one. Legion inside, unless I just forgot those people existed. It's a mess up there. At least we're not infantry. Dominique nodded. I'm hearing about a lot of casualties among them. Due to the Jade using a lot of poisonous rounds. Cyanide. For us. Poison. Dum-dum round. Dum-dum exploding bullets. That's bullets, not the sucker. My favorite snack. Well, not really. I used to really like suckers, but now not so much. Now I prefer white chocolate things. Let's see. I'll be back to you soon, Cher. I can't play music right now because you probably wouldn't hear me, and there'd probably be like copyright strikes and other stuff because there's a robot monitoring all this, I think. Let's see, I'm hearing like, well, they shoot you in the head. Doesn't matter if the bullet was poisoned or not. Tom noted, mused. The troops are quite excellent shots. They've probably been training since the end of the last war. The last war came and noted, bitter, angry, filled with anger and bitterness. Their defeat. Such things are strong motivators, as our Bloodkin friends showed us in their build-up between the Great War and World War III. Is anger and bitterness the same? So am I saying anger and anger, or anger and bitterness? Bitterness is something. Anger and bitterness, are they the same things? I'll have to check. Darn it. Anger and bitterness. As we enter chapter 900 of this story. Let's see. I'll never end a book if I could get away with it, but you know, all stories have to end sooner or later. Good night. We don't have to worry about enemy infantry. Besides occasional rocket launcher. AT gun. Jamie noted. Tom said, there. Such things can take a golem. They're lucky. Tom had heard about a guy with a bazooka taking out a jade golem by hitting it right in the head as it was peering in at him through the window of a ruined skyscraper. Guy was far back from the window and had been doing some sniping of infantry. Seemed like a lot of golems met their ends trying to do good by the infantry. The last new voice of the team spoke up. But the chat showed up. He spoke with his... He had quite a distinctive voice due to his... southern accent and the deepness of the voice. Someone hearing that voice its own might have thought it belonged to a southern Akunian Zetan, but the voice actually belonged to a white man. White southern Zetan of English ancestry, or so he assumed. Perhaps it wasn't like he ever took a deep look at his family tree. It's not an evil thing to want to know where you come from, folks. Learning about your ancestry can be very interesting. It's unfortunate that so many people in this country, like the descendants of slaves, can't really trace back their family tree to the motherland, but maybe with DNA they could find out what part of Africa they came from originally, at least. Find out if they have any other ancestors, which would be interesting. Let's see. Everett King, someone muttered. Tom said, looking to Everett, who was a tall and rather kind of thuggish looking young man with brown hair, light blue eyes. Yep. We have a fine time topside, and we were just fighting enemy gunmen, Tom noted. But we're not. We're gonna be fighting our fellow golems. It's gonna be one for the history book. Just like when my uncle fought. Just like the Battle of the Giants. The Battle of the Giants was the largest golem on golem battle of the Jade War, taking place in Salgoria after E-Day. There were hundreds of golems. There were over 1,000 golems in play on each side, and many hundreds of each. Hundreds were lost. Damn it, it's supposed to be Everett that said that. Let's say Everett. Uncle Pablo was lost during the battle. stuck up on a hill where he took down a few dozen golems attacking his position, almost like infantry, like oversized infantry squads. Pablo was struck down just before reinforcements arrived to save him. He became a town. Pablo was honored as a town hero. After he fell in battle, with a statue mock-up, with a statue of his golem suit adorning his tomb. Not a life-sized representation, clearly. 2 meter was tall enough for the tomb. Everett came from the south, came from the former Dominion, from the town of Southern Zeta. Southern Zeta, where is that? Still not sure in even my own story if Southern Zeta is the southern part of North Zeta or the part that was the old Confederacy that just was defeated in World War III. Let's see. In the town of Bourne. Something he mentioned often, as he was proud of his hometown, one of the oldest towns of that region, even though its population never got past 2,000. He joked it was a small town that felt like a city and deserved to be one. Over a lot of, since it was very, very wholesome place. Wholesome place without much. Next to the dens of degeneracy that were the other cities, that were the actual cities of that region and state. Tom, whose father died, was beaten, murdered in Bowen, would have begged to differ. I'm gonna have to check on the meaning of that. I might use that wrong. Beg to differ. It's one of those phrases you hear a lot, but don't know. Bowen had quite the reputation for lynchings and murders of young black men. Tom's father, Nelson was far from the only black man to die in Bowen. Was Nelson his name? I hope I didn't get that wrong. Gotta pay respects to my posthumous characters who are dead even before the story begins. I don't have that many of them because I prefer to have the characters alive to interact with. Then I can kill them in the course of the story. Okay, folks, 24 minutes in. Let's see. Wiedersehen.